Hi everyone, my name is Rahul. I'm one of the co-founders of the Energy Bucket.
Hi everyone, I'm Prashant. I'm also one of the founders.
Sir, welcome to Human Sabini. And to start off today's podcast, firstly, we'd like to know about your background and how did you end up starting the company?
Hi everyone, my name is Rahul. I'm one of the co-founders of the Energy Bucket. Let me just tell you a brief about the company as well and also about us. What we are essentially building is full stack energy platforms, which includes fast charge, long-lasting batteries. And along with these batteries, we have a life cycle management tool where we track customer usage information and based on that we provide insights. In a very simplistic or layman terms, imagine if you have a scooter which is powered by our batteries, then by understanding your use cases, we can reduce your EMI cost, we can provide you extended warranty, and we can also improve your resale value whenever you are looking to sell off your old electric vehicle. So that's just a brief about us. My background has been primarily into batteries. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and was always keen on engines. So I actually started diesel engines, and I used to calibrate diesel engines for a vehicle OEM. But quickly I realized that once BS6 and all the upcoming pollution norms come in, diesel engines won't make a lot of sense. So that's when I had options to do something different, and I just got an opportunity to work with Professor Ashok Jhunjhunwala at IIT Madras. At that point in time, he was the principal scientific advisor to Government of India. So I stayed with him. I worked as a founding team member of a startup over there, and that's the place where I learned the fundamentals and use case of batteries. And was that worked as a consultant and worked in a company called Micelio, and that's has been going.
Hi everyone, I'm Prashant. I'm also one of the founders. I started as a fresher. I joined the Ather in 2014. Luckily, I was at the right time, right place, right thing, I would say. When I graduated, I had a different offer altogether. I was supposed to join a mechanical consulting company, and then I had some internship option with Ather as well. So I sort of pursued like. So I stayed there for about 10 minutes. I'm a chemical engineer by background, so nowhere related to batteries, nowhere related to automobiles as well. What I did at Ather initially was to, do the simulations for the vehicles, understand whether structurally the vehicle makes sense or not. Right. So over the 10 years, I learned a lot of things being in the door, obviously. And then, as Rahul said, when we all were at Micelio, we sort of connected to the B2B side of things, where electric vehicles from B2C angle are there, they are good, people are using it, but from B2B angle, their position changes completely. Because the vehicle is now used for commercial activities and you're churning revenue from it. So that means people get overabused. So at Micelio, we have a sister company which is into logistics, and we were solving a lot of issues for these guys. That is when we realized that directly every problem relates to batteries. That sort of became the essence of starting the company in 2020 in December.
So two mechanical engineers with nothing to do with batteries end up creating a battery.
I think you were there in right.
You had switch up.
So we had two more founders by the way. I'll introduce them. So they also come from a different background.
All of you met at?
The story is that me, Pratik, and Vinay, we all worked at Ather for a very long time. He was together. Vinay comes from a hardcore automobile background. So he was designing Apache, worked at Hero as well. Right? Pratik comes from a electronics background. That is, me and Pratik actually used to report to the same manager at Ather. We worked for a long period of time. Then all three of us and Rahul, we all sort of met at Micelio. That's where we were working on building the last mile logistics area. So we all sort of collaborated on the pipeline and started the company. I think amongst all four of us, Rahul has the most idea on the batteries.
But there was it any click moment when you were like, okay, नहीं अब मैं छोड़ के अब मैं battery बनाऊंगा, or was there any event that led to this? any one event, or was it a collection of events? Things kept happening, and one day you realized, okay, I can do it with that distance.
See, for myself, I was very clear from day one. When I just completed a bachelor's, I wanted to do a startup. But I didn't have an idea. करना क्या है? So my thesis over there was कि let me have some experience from the industry. And once I feel I am at the right time, then I'll start something after that. So when I started working on batteries, I realized that this is the sector where there is a lot of unknowns, and this whole sector is evolving. Technology is evolving. So that's when I decided for myself that yeah, now I think I have the right experience in this sector, and the problems are increasing day by day. There are a lot of fire incidents, batteries are failing on field, and a couple of things like that. And we all discussed it together, all four of us, and then we all synergized. Yeah, yes, this is the point where since we are coming from a technology background, who better than us to solve these problems?
So all of you always had the entrepreneurial and
Yeah, I think for me personally, I would say I would align with the second statement that you made, that I had not thought of starting something. Sort of naturally made it towards it. It was not like I 5 साल पहले सोच लिया था कि I will start something. In fact, the idea sort of came in that I had to do something post-COVID itself, because people have a lot of time in about things. So that is when it sort of started कि यार अगर बना ही रहे हैं चीज़ों, तो why not make on our way and solve technically or challenge वगैरह.
So what was the experience like? Because you were creating a battery, तो बहुत ज़्यादा R&D लगता है. So what was the experience of creating your first prototype, and how did you get things started?
The way we started things firstly was we had a thesis, a problem, and these are the challenges that the customer is facing. Our idea was let's validate it first. So we kickstart the validation. We created a prototype, an initial prototype, which is known as an MVP of sorts. The idea over there was that we are saying that fast charging will solve a lot of problems. So we created a prototype which was able to get charged in 15 minutes of time. And we gave it out to our field customers and partners. And we asked them to test it and give their feedback. So we gave the first prototype, got the feedback, and that's when the journey started. So our thesis always has been that whatever technology we are creating, is it actually solving a problem for the end customer?
But also a lot of innovation at the company is focused on fast charging.
Yeah.
But when I was researching about fast charging, there were a lot of issues also that come up with fast charging. Firstly, I think battery has drains faster if you're charging the battery.
Partially true.
Yeah. And the second was thermal management. So how have you managed these two huge problems in a B2B sector where the batteries are tend to be abused?
Over here, the thesis was, is fast charging a necessity? I think the answer is yes. So, with that idea in mind, our thesis was, let's solve for the problem, and whatever are the reasons behind it, if fast charging leads to, say, faster degradation or abuse or batteries catching fire, let's solve for these pain points. So, the innovation that we did on the first layer was on the thermal management. The idea over there was that batteries actually degrade because they are reaching very high temperatures. So eventually what happens is, I think that there's a lot of engineers in the who will be doing this. So we all hear about the heat loss or the temperature rise of a system is I square RV, which means like it's square proportional of the current. So as you do faster, it means your heat is growing 4 times if you are making the current as well. So our thesis over there was on the first technology layer, how quickly we can dissipate the heat away from the cells. Because cells will eventually generate heat. We use the same cells as anyone else. That technology is something that we had internally designed, of faster dissipation of heat using forced air cooling. And that's also something that we have filed a patent on.
And something also interesting that I came across when I was doing the website was the Ather of batteries. You could explain what that is.
So it is exactly what you think it is. So Aadhaar card is, it is our individual identification. Yes. Where were you born? Not where were you born, what is your current address, what is your permanent address, what is the date of birth. Those kind of things are captured, and this is a unique ID which you can then use to open a bank account or do other link it with your other IDs as well. So it is a one single ID that government has created for everyone. So on a very similar level, what we realize that people are making batteries. Whether we are making batteries or Ather is making batteries or some other OEM is making batteries. Right? But no one, this battery is not like oil, where you used it and then the value is gone. It still has value as an energy source. But the problem is we do not know how do we quantify that value. Right? For example, if I am buying my second-hand, if I am purchasing my second-hand EV from you, then how do we make a transaction? Right? Because if I am buying an Activa from you, I might do a math के इतने किलोमीटर से लेने को I can get this sort of negotiation. But in EV ऐसा कुछ thumb rule बना नहीं हुआ है. Right? So we wanted to bring that. So the essential principle is that when the battery is made and shipped from a factory, it will have critical information like कहाँ से cell आया है, who is the manufacturer of the battery, where is the BMS coming from, all the critical elements as to what makes the battery. Once it goes, this is what we call as birth parameters of the battery, and this is stored in that Ather value. Once the battery is gone into the field, you will have a lot of insights on how it was used, what was the performance drop, is there some servicing that has happened across the 4 years. Right? So all of this is again stored in that way. And now once I am ready to retire my battery, I will use all of this information and insights and then show you that you know what, I can use the battery in such a manner. Maybe we can transact in this manner. So the essential idea is that this identity will keep traveling along with this battery that was made in a factory until it dies when it reaches inside. So that everyone in the value chain knows what they are buying or purchasing. And this is a more of an open source sort of initiative where apart from our batteries, we also want to get other batteries.
Other people can partner with their things. Okay, that's great. Also, you were talking about that towards the end, a battery is supposed to come out of a vehicle and it has to run some other users.
Yeah.
So, have you ever thought of, okay, with the batteries that I'm making, this could be the second life for my batteries?
Yeah, I mean, there are already some companies who are working on this. So generally, when the battery retires from mobility, it goes for recycling, right? Where it is traded as a commodity of price. We are trying to repurpose. We are trying to reuse it in some other application. For example, one obvious application is home backup for residential sector as well as the commercial sector. Now, let's say. For example, in fact, in our office, we power some of our office area with these boost batteries, even including air conditioners. So the idea is, can I offset my electricity with the help of these batteries, and they are retired, so I can then utilize it further more 5 to 6 years, and then send it for recycling. So the applications that are emerging out are mostly related to home backup in residential or commercial sectors.
But has the recycling end of batteries catching up in India? Well, the biggest question is, what will happen towards the end of the day? So has lithium recycling caught up in India or towards the world? Are you seeing that trend coming up? Or?
As a sector, it has evolved, so it is picking up. So I think there are recyclers who are working on technology in India. But as of now, the concern they are facing is कि जैसे the inventory नहीं है, where the recycle like tons and tons of material. So I think it will evolve up to a decent scale in the next 3 to 4 years. But recycling is definitely picking up. And even there is a mandate from the government that EPR, battery-based guidelines, a manufacturer or an OEM have to make sure that whatever batteries they are using in mobility, a certain percentage of it is actually getting recycled. So it is becoming the OEM's or the battery manufacturer's responsibility to get it recycled.
A lot of work is taking place in recycling and getting back everything from those batteries. Okay, the other question that when you were talking with past is coming management to software, there was something you mentioned. So that's called the PNS of the battery. So how different is the PNS that you are implementing, or what are the parameters? Explain what does a PNS do?
So, see, PNS is a battery management system. We can think of it like brain for a human body. Like it's an equivalent. The idea is to say if we touch something which is very hot, what will do? Our brain will sense it, and we remove our hand from it. BMS का job exactly is similar. Whenever there is any abuse event, it has to make sure the system comes back to a safe state so that it does not catch fire and it lasts longer. So our innovation on BMS is on two fronts. So it is completely designed and developed in-house. The first innovation is on faster understanding of any abuse event. Just in a very simplistic or layman terms, if you touch something which is recently hot, say a mug, what you'll do is you'll still hold it for a while and then the signal goes to brain and then you take action. So there's a delay needed for it. But say if you are touching something which is glowing red, even though due to any reason if you have touched it, your spinal cord directly kicks in and you remove your hand from it. मतलब आपका brain involved ही नहीं है उस reaction में, reflex हो जाता है. Exactly on the similar grounds हमने अपना BMS बनाया है, where we have a hardware based detection, where the software is not even aware कि ऐसा कुछ हुआ. Hardware itself has understood कि it's the most abusive condition in the system, returns back to a fail safe state. और अगर थोड़ा सा risky state है but we still have time to manage it, then we have a software based safety circuit. This is the first layer of the design innovation that we have. And the second layer is where we have built in adaptive charging, which is purely, I would say, a technology play on BMS and cloud. As we all use smartphones today, so we would have seen during the night time, based on our usage pattern, our phones get ultra slow charge in order to preserve battery life. So we are the first company in two-wheelers in India. The idea is that we want to provide this similar kind of features for our mobility users. And that we believe will actually be a game changer in terms of extending the life of the battery, but also making sure that people save on the charging cost. Okay, where I'm taking a time of day is coming in India. Electricity pricing varies. If it is during non-solar hours and evening mein raat ko jaise 2 to 4, electricity demand is not that high. So pricing of electricity is very low at that point. So our thesis is we want to charge these batteries at a time where it is at the lowest price, ताकि consumer का electricity bill minimum.
So that is somewhere again कि आप यहाँ पे machine learning and AI is being used to some extent. Yeah. Perfect. The other thing was like what charging battery. So normally क्या temperature पहुँच जाता होगा एक cell when it is getting charged.
So see, हमें ये देखना पड़ेगा कि start कहाँ से कर रहे हैं. So if we are starting say in Bangalore at an ambient of 25 degrees, so with our technology, even at fast charging, temperature rises below 7 degrees rise, or in best case less than 5 degree rise. And the advantage is, मान लीजिए in Delhi in summers where it is 50 degrees Celsius, even at that point in time, our temperature rise from that ambient is less than 5 degrees Celsius.
Okay. Yeah. So always monitoring everything whenever it's working. But how are you? Delhi में हो रहा था. I think in Delhi there were a lot of places that a few scooters were getting charged and they were catching fire. So how do you manage that your batteries don't catch fire? Is it again a BMS thing?
It's more of a complete technology play. So first is our thermal design makes sure that the design is rugged and does not catch fire. In fact, when we are getting our batteries certified, there is a test as per AIS 156. Where they ask the battery manufacturer, आप इस बैटरी में आग लगाओ, आप एक सेल को लेके जाओ एक abusive condition में. And for us, and they want to see कि how will the other cells behave on it. हमारे डिजाइन के साथ the problem we are facing is एक ही सेल गर्म हो रहा है, उसकी भी जा ही नहीं रही है दूसरे सेल के पास. And that's the layer of technology that we developed. So, and even we got, I would say, very good feedback from the certification agencies about our design. So that's what we have done on the thermal layer. इससे हमें पता चल रहा है कि हमारी बैटरीज के अंदर कभी भी abusive condition नहीं आ रही जो बाकी बैटरीज के अंदर आते हैं, क्योंकि उनके thermal designs are not designed as per the Indian use cases. There is another thing in BMS, हम लोग temperature log करते हैं, temperature sense करते हैं cells का, and then we take कि whether this battery is safe और या फिर इसको charging off करते हैं. Maximum of these batteries which are sold in India in COVID or during that COVID period, उन सबके अंदर problem ये थी, उनके अंदर hardly there was 1 or 2 sensors, and that too in many of these instances were just hanging in the air. तो BMS लगा तो हुआ था, पर BMS को पता ही नहीं था कि temperature क्या है system का, and that's the reason they were catching fire.
Okay, so when a battery is charging, each cell individual level can control the amount of current input.
Yes, so we are able to control. We are actually monitoring individual cell temperature. तो हमें दिख रहा है कि हर एक सेल कैसे behave कर रहा है, और अगर कुछ corrective action लेना है, we are able to do that very swiftly.
Also, when you are talking about the certifications, so what are the testing processes that our battery undergoes when it is being pushed to the market?
So earlier there used to be AIS 048, that was the standard, which was mostly coming from backgrounds of lead acid batteries. There a lot of abuse events were not captured, and that's also one of the reasons batteries were failing at abuse conditions on field. But the government realized, and then they developed a new standard which is AIS 156. उस standard के अंदर there are a lot of corner cases which are also covered, including thermal propagation, including overcharge, including over temperature, including protection features between battery and charger, how are they communicating with each other. So these are, I would say there are a total of 15-16 tests that a company needs to qualify, get it certified from ARAI, ICAT or NATRAX, and then only they can sell it in the market.
When you were talking about the communication between a charger and a battery, क्या बात है? इतना ज़्यादा क्या ही अलग I see a lot of communication protocols coming up using UPN, but what is the communication that's actually happening between a charger and a battery when it's charging? Apart from the temperature gauges.
Yeah. So in fact that is the most critical information that needs to be.